Who are your heroes? Who are the people who influenced you to be who you are today? My greatest hero, I can still see her to this day, standing at the ironing board with her little homemade sprinkler that she made out of one of those old green Coke bottles. You remember those? And she took a piece of metal and put it on the top and made holes in it so that she could use it as a sprinkler bottle. My mom, every day, would be standing at that ironing board, taking care of the laundry that she brought in from the rich families. And while I'd watch her oftentimes, but after I'd get bored, I would run upstairs and I would go on her bed and I would play with all of her Avon samples. She had the greatest stuff. My favorite was this little box about this big of these little itty-bitty lipsticks. No, I couldn't wear them. I wasn't allowed to put them on. Those were her ladies' lipsticks. But what I could do is play with the box. And you remember that peg game where you would jump over the pegs and take them out and try to leave one in the box? So I would do that for hours on end until I got bored. And then I would play with the jewelry, because the jewelry I could actually wear. I was allowed to put that on. She had all this blingy stuff, big gold necklaces and clip-on earrings, which was great because as a little girl I didn't have pierced ears, right? And she was called Sarah Coventry. And that was for her ladies too. You know, it's so interesting that I never realized until later in life that my mom was running 3 businesses, bringing up 4 young children and 1 alcoholic husband. When I was 10, Dad left, and Mom had to get a real job. So what she did was every night, she would stay up practicing her shorthand and her typing, because back in those days, if you were a girl, a woman, if you could type and take shorthand, you'd get a job. In fact, in those days, boys could grow up to be executives. Girls could grow up to be executive secretaries. Even with similar schooling and skills, men would become junior accountants. Women would be bookkeepers. Same job, different title, significantly different salaries. I'm really happy to say that a lot of that has changed. In fact, my mom did a great job because my sisters and I opened our own business in 2008 called Women's Prosperity Network. And I'll tell you a little bit about that more in a minute. But the real message I want to share with you today is that women in business, women in executive positions is growing. The number of us is growing. And even if you think about since the recession, you'd really be surprised that since the recession, women-owned businesses have grown 45%. And what that accounts for is a whopping $1.5 trillion with a T, $1.5 trillion into the US economy every single year. And it's no surprise to me that there are more women in business. Because if you look at business itself and how it's changing in the 21st century, you'll notice what Fast Company magazine just said, that the old, ultra-competitive way of doing business is going away. Hoo-hoo is right. And that instead it's being replaced by collaboration, what we call co-opetition, where businesses come together to partner and create strategic alliances so that everybody wins. And who better than women to thrive in a collaborative environment? You've heard the expression, it takes a village. Guess who's taking care of the village, right? So although the environment is more collaborative, there's this big lie out there that women don't support each other. In fact, you can turn on the television any day of the week and find a television show that supports that stereotype, right? Most of them start with the housewives of. Did I say that? Yes. Yes, I did. But here's my reality. My reality is I'm in a community of thousands of women who are supporting each other, who are going for it, to be the best that they can be. They're dedicated to their own success. And they're dedicated to the success of the woman right next to them. You know, if you think about it and you take yourself back, remember girls double dutch, right? Who played double dutch? You get the two ropes, you'd have two girls on either ends of these two ropes. And they're working in perfect harmony for the girl in the middle to shine. And as soon as she's done, the other girl comes in and she shines. That's what we do for each other. We are Women's Prosperity Network, and we are supporting each other and moving each other forward. That's what we're about. We're about making a difference because really, we are about having lives that we love to live, success, finances, and making a difference. Because for most women, most people, it's not just about making the money, right? It's about making a difference. It's about leaving a legacy. It's about making an impact. So, what's the impact? What's the legacy? What's the difference that your heroes made for you? My greatest hero, she left me wanting to be the best that I could be for myself and for other women. She inspired me to do work that gives back, that adds value. And that's what Women's Prosperity Network is all about. We are on a mission to move each other up, a mission to equip ourselves with the skills, the connections, and the courage to share our message, our gifts, and our talents with the world so that we can have everything we want for ourselves, for our families, and for the planet. And here's the really cool news. We're doing it acting like women. Not women acting like men. You know, it's taken a long time to go from the ironing board to the boardroom, from an executive secretary to an executive, and from a bookkeeper to CFO. But this is just the beginning. I invite you to become a part of a movement of people who are making a difference in their own lives while they're making a difference on the planet. Go to womensprosperitynetwork.com and find out how this community can be a difference maker for you, like it's been for thousands of women worldwide since 2008. And remember that as you're climbing the mountain of success, as you're going up the mountain, we will be with you. We will be holding you, supporting you, moving you up so that you can get to the top of that mountain and raise your hands in victory and in celebration. And when you do, remember to take one hand, reach out, and pull another woman up. Thank you.